Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Beverly. I do things planner related. And if you're new here, welcome to the hot mess. And if you're coming back, you are well aware. First thing you're going to hear is my voice. It is almost completely gone. I have started the nose running from, I'm pretty sure, the plague that my husband has had all week. And two, we went to see Jelly Roll and Shabuzi and Ernest last night, and it was such a great concert. I sang the whole time. I was screaming. It was all the things. It was amazing. 100% recommend if you love good music. And he had it all last night. So yeah, that's enough about that. But anyway, today I'm going to talk to you about a year of being in my planner. I'm also going to say it's shadowy because it's 7 a.m. It is, like I said, the night after our concert. My daughter and her boyfriend went out. They didn't get home till 1. My granddaughters and them went to a bonfire. They didn't go home till like 11. So everybody is still asleep except for me and my dog. My dog woke me up, and it was like in the middle of a nightmare. And I would say, oh, that's a cute story. She knew I was having a nightmare and woke me up if it was the big one, but it was not. It was the small one. And I could have been on my hospice deathbed. And if that dog wanted under the covers, she would have expected me to get up and let her under those covers. It's just who she is. So she woke me up. So here I am. Anywho, all right. So besides all that, so 1 year in rings, and I'm going to talk about some of the things I've learned, the top 5 things I've learned, and like one bonus thing. So you're going to ask, why do I have 2 planners? Well, this is my New Year setup that I'm working on. I put it in my crock. And so far, she's looking okay. I just wanted to see, as I put things in, kind of how thick she would be and how much would be in it. And I think it's actually pretty good. I try to keep them fairly thin, because I like to put pictures and stuff in it, and I use it as a wallet, so I put cards and bills and everything else. But this is my 2025 working on, and this is my current that is keeping me sane through this whole crazy season. And yeah, so I even took her with me last night. She stayed in the car, and I planned kind of on the way there and on the way home a little bit. Just as things come into my head, I wrote them down, and I did kind of started kind of an email brain dump. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. And I keep going off on a rant because, like I said, it's early and I've had no sleep. I woke up at 5, and it was only a couple hours of sleep with sleeping meds. So, it's how the brain goes. But I thought I'd get this in while it was quiet. So here we go. Shut up, Beverly. It's a rant. Okay, y'all know, hot mess. It is what it is. All right, so 1 year in my ring planner, what have I learned? What have I learned in the year? So I set up an A6 rings planner in November of 2023. I was going to set it up for my work planner, and as I was setting it up, I was like, hey, let me try this out. The rest is history. So has there been planner hopping? Absolutely. Did I burn my whole system down in February of this year? I absolutely did. I think that had more to do with hormones than my actual planner. But, and then what did I come back to? It was actually personal rings. I went from A6 to personal to, I had a dalliance with Franklin Covey Compact. I did personal plus. I think Franklin Covey Compact. I think I came back to personal. There were I tried to make a B6 weeks, a B6, had a go at pocket. Don't get me wrong, there were individual things in between there, but they were fleeting, and this was my main system for the year. Yeah, so I think I learned a lot. I think it taught me a lot. And going from OG bullet journaling and being in bound books for years. Now, don't get me wrong, I would jump into a rings every once in a while. I had a personal wide black croc Moterm, one of the old ones that still had like the brown lining. And I would put like a B6 Stalogy in there. But to say I was in rings would be a very big stretch. Because I kind of did to that what I did to bound books this year and just kind of touched on them. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so the first one is it takes some adjustment. So to go from a bound book from a bound book to rings, it takes an adjustment. I'm not going to say the first version stuck. I'm not going to say that it was the best to begin with. I'm not going to say that it didn't take me months to understand rings. It took a learning curve for printing inserts. It took a learning curve about how I wanted things. It took a learning curve about like what I liked. Now, I can say you can learn a lot about yourself going into rings from your bound book. So you can take a ring, set it up just like your bound book with just paper, or if you want to, or inserts to, take the place of whatever layouts you have drawn, and start from there and work your way up. I'm going to say that. Did I do that? Absolutely not. Printing. Everybody says, oh, I hate printing. Yeah, me too, girl. Me too. But once you learn, and again, it's an adjustment and it's a learning curve, it's not horrible. And honestly, you don't have to print anything if you want to buy it. I'm just a paper hoe, and nobody prints on Kokuyo or Tomo River paper inserts and ships them to you. It just doesn't happen. It's all 32 pound or 28 pound or 26 pound or whatever. And that's writing on cardstock after being on Tomo River paper and Stalogy paper for so many years and Kokuyo paper. So there's that. So like I said, there's an adjustment. Now, is there an adjustment in bound books? Absolutely. If you go from rings to bound, there's an adjustment. If you go from A5 to B6, there's an adjustment. If you go from sterling ink to Hobonichi, there's an adjustment. There's an adjustment with every book. It's just what you're willing to put in it. Is it worth it to you? Is it something you really want to do? Do the pros outweigh the cons? Those kind of things. So yes, there's absolutely an adjustment. Like these months I buy, these inserts I print, this paper here was a notepad I cut down. This paper here was some Stalogy paper from a B6 Weeks that I just took apart. This was a 500-page sterling ink in1 that I was going to use. That was another one that I thought it was going to be great, but honestly, that never came to fruition. The time it got to me and I realized what it was, I was like, nope, not even going to try. But I harvested that and put that in here. So you can do basically anything you want with it. It's just what you're willing to put in the work or lack of work of. And that's also an adjustment. So there you are. All right. Number 2, there will be many versions. Many versions. And I'm not going to say this is a rings problem, but it is a planner problem. So you will, no matter what you jump in or out of, you will have many versions of. Let's say you go to a B6. Well, you have to get what you like on a page right that you draw in. Or do you want to print and, glue in or, tape in or whatever? Do you want to do it this way or that way? There's always that. But in rings, it seems to be a big one. There will be many versions. Do you want your sections up here? Do you want your sections in the back? Do you want your planning in the middle? I prefer my planning in the middle because it's the evenest. I don't know if that's right, but, when it's really stuffed, it's the easiest to write on, and it's my most accessed area. So I like my planning in the middle. Not everybody likes that. Some of them like it towards the end. Some of them like, your lists in the back and your planning in the front. Whatever that is. there will be many versions. My mini versions was A6 personal, Franklin Covey compact, personal plus. That's personal printed at 105%. You know, I will also say there are many versions of monthlies, weeklies, dailies, lists, grid paper, inserts that hold various things, like this is recipes to try, you know, like, so there are many versions of it that you're going to find that it's going to take you some time to get it, again, adjusted to, and figure out what you like, what you don't, what works, what doesn't, what you can have, you have to have, what you can live without, especially when it comes to printing. And yeah, it's like, what can I put here that I don't have to print that will do the trick, and you know, get me through, but I don't have to spend any time at the printer. Do I need to, you know, print a quarter at a time, a monthly at a time, so I'm not printing all the time when you're addressing that? A lot of it has to do around printing and archiving. I'm going to tell you that those are the two things that ring people hate and loathe, but it is what it is. Okay, so like I said, there will be many versions. You will try different sizes. You will try pocket. You will try A6. Like I said, you will try personal. It's Franklin Covey compact, classic, A5. There's so many sizes of rings that you can try, that, you know, to find your unicorn or happy place or planner piece or whatever you call it. But those versions will come. Those versions will come. They will go. And yeah, so be prepared. 4, endless possibility is not always a good thing. So with rings, there is endless possibility. You can basically make this anything you want. That doesn't always end in a positive. Again, there's different sizes, there are different inserts, there's different layouts, there's different shops. There's, do you want to keep stickers? Do you not want to? Just like the adjustment, just like finding what you want, there is endless possibilities to everything. So sometimes it becomes a rabbit hole, and that shit gets expensive, because Gillios are no joke. Moterms, I'm trying to pick this up like it's a Moterm, but I have a Moterm. It's reasonable, comparable. I'm going to call it middle of the road. Then you have your cheaper planners, and those are great if you're starting out. But as planner people, you know, we don't just start out. It's a deep dive. It's I like the pretty things, and don't say you don't, because you probably do. And if you didn't, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. So, and I am still bad to this day. I think I own Peanuts Planner Co. I think I own every insert she has. Why? Well, because over the year I have found that my printer doesn't like to print landscape. It only likes to print portrait in order to get it right. And she does that. They're minimal, they're functional, and honestly, I like her aesthetic and layouts. And if you're starting out, you can honestly start a whole planner from just her freebies. And I like to support that kind of thing because I do use the shit out of her freebies. And so I think I should own just as many inserts. But there are ways to do it. You can do sales. You can stock the buy-sell trades like it's a job. And yeah, so, I mean, there's other ways. I did Chic Sparrows. I have a bunch of B6 Slim Chic Sparrows, which are the same size as this. They're the same fit as these. I put 30 millimeter Moterm rings in them, and they make a great personal planner. And when my thing is super stuffed and these don't keep it latched, That's what I go for. When I want easy, when I'm craving that TN look, that beautiful stuffed TN look, that is, like the elastic strap, elastic string, and I want to see all the tabs and all the things. That really does it for my gears. You know what I'm saying? Like that really gets me going. So, that's my planner porn. I really love that look. So, they're fairly cheap if you get them on the buy sell trade, at least cheaper than Moterm and Gillio, that's for sure. You could have like 4 Chic Sparrows compared to 1 Gillio by the time you pay, but it's what you like, it's what you want, it's what you love, and you want to be happy and you want to keep coming back to it because we're planner people. And for us, even though this is functional and this is absolute necessary for me, it's still a hobby. It's what I like. I love the organization. It makes my brain happy, and the pretty keeps me coming back and it keeps me using it. So there you go. All right. So endless possibility does not always equal a good thing. Very, very expensive. Very. Okay. Number 5 is going to be another controversial concept in the planner world. But I don't think it's going to be as controversial as my bonus. But honestly, your current planner probably works. It's just you. Now, I love every single one of you, and I'm calling myself out with this because there was nothing wrong with my B6 weeks. There absolutely was not. I didn't like rewriting it every 3 months, but to say it didn't work would be a bald-faced lie. And I probably said it somewhere to convince myself. I lie to myself often. And those lies usually come in, oh, I need a new insert. I need this. This will make me happy. This will be more functional. I'm tired of all this organization. I just want to go back to a book that was simple. And they're all bald-faced lies. Honestly, I've been planning so long, and most of us have. There's very few newbies to the planner community. I'm going to say that don't have a planning style. You usually find this community because you are already planning to some extent. You just don't show up here and go, oh, I'm going to buy a planner. That's because if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. You're either in it or you're not. It's kind of like Fight Club. But to say, oh, I need this planner is going to fix my life, we're all lying to ourselves. Your planner probably already works. Your planner is probably already fine. You just want to change. That's the hard truth of it. When I jumped into rings, I just wanted to change. It had nothing to do with the fact that my planner didn't work, that my planning system for years that was the same didn't work. It's just that I wanted to change. It's not that A6 didn't work. It's just that I liked a more long paper. Did I need the long paper? No, the A6 worked because it was the same planner system. It was just square, and it's something I liked. So to say your planner system doesn't work, you're probably wrong. Whether that be you're in a Hobonichi, you're in a Weeks, you're in a, whatever planner system you usually go back to is probably the one that works. You're doing this for the dopamine, not lying. And I'm calling myself out on this because I have gone back to B6 weeks. The B6 burnt my system down. A6, Franklin Covey Compact, Personal, Pocket, Sterling Ink, N1, which is standard size. I'm calling myself out on this too. Okay? And that's the only thing that got me through these last, I'm going to say, 4 months of stability in the personal rings, is I had to call myself out and say, you know what, your planner system actually works. It's just you. You're looking for the dopamine hit. So I had to find other ways of getting it. So I would do a cheap insert print and try something new. Or I would buy a new cover because these Gilios on the buy sell trade, when you get the older ones that have already been used and they're super soft and they're nice, and oh my god, the patina, it's like it's there's so many things I could say that would be inappropriate right now, so I'm not. But you're going to go ahead and use your imagination. Whatever that one thing is that, you know, gives you that hit rush, it's like that. Okay? Okay. It's so good. So you have to, like, tap yourself in. Is that planner going to change, you know, cover going to change my life? No, the system works. I was looking at an A6 khaki, green khaki on the buy sell trade. That's an A6. I wanted to go to A6 just for the cover because the cover is gorgeous. But hear me out. My system works, and I have to talk myself down, and everybody does. Okay, so truth is, your planner system probably already works, and that's how I've kept kind of consistent in my rings. Yeah. So if you want to stay consistent in your planner system, and this is not a sell to rings, this is just my reflection. Again, I'm not trying to talk you into a rings. I've been accused of that. Trying to convert people. That's not me. Do you, boo. But honestly, your planner system probably works, so this is me talking you out of it. Stop. If you're watching this and you're like, oh, rings would work for me, but you're in a bound book, just stay there. You're probably doing fine. You're just looking for something new. All right. That's my talk for the day. That's my soapbox. Okay. All right, here's the more controversial thing, and it kind of goes with your planner system already works, is if you wanted to, you would. So I hear a lot of people say rings about printing and archiving. If you wanted to, you would. I hear people a lot say about how some things are non-functional or they just don't work. Honestly, if you wanted to, you would. Like any other part of your life, be that going to the gym. I can't lie to myself and say I was tired. No. If I wanted to, I would. If I wanted to go to that dance class, if I wanted to take up rugby, if I wanted to, me and my 4'11" ass, 120 pounds taking up rugby. But if you wanted to, you would. So if you wanted to carry this planner, you would. You'd find the purse for it. If you wanted to have all this organization, for me, this is just my thing. If I really love the rings, and I do, I would find a way to print and archive that works for me. They have them. They might not be the prettiest, but you can't tell me my planner peeps are not creative and can't, like, decorate that damn Franklin Covey compact storage system that everybody has that's ugly as sin. But you can't tell me that you couldn't decorate it, make it pretty, get the black one, rub the numbers off of it, put paper on it, decorate it to the nines, and keep a couple of years of inserts in there, or one. Because it's going to take up the same amount of room as a Hobonichi a weeks, a B6, a B6 weeks, especially after you go through all 4 of them in a year because you planner hop. If you wanted to, you would. And I'm just going to leave that at that. And that's probably going to get me kicked out of the planner community because a lot of ours is built on consumption. I think we get a lot of dopamine. Again, I'm calling myself out on this and talking about, you know, and one thing that I did get some clarity from of not consuming hauls and whittling my Instagram and YouTube down to just people in rings is that a lot of my consumption came from influencing. And we have a lot of consumption you know, hits in the planner community because there's so much out there. you know, we come a long way from buying your planner at the Walmart or the Office Depot for you fancy people. When Franklin Covey Compact was sold at the Office Depot because it was like the only one, or like the Day Designer inserts or the Day Designer big planner or the one you got from work that's, you know, an hourly planner. We've come a long way from that, and now it's turned into like this hobby and this thing we love and we're able to do. And I'm not down on it, because that's the reason you're watching this video. I just think, you know, it does have a lot to do with our planner hopping and our indecision and our wants versus needs. And yeah, so I'm gonna leave you with that. Okay. And I know this isn't the best of videos. I sound like crap. I'm not really doing anything. I'm not planning, but I wanted to leave you on this going into 2025, because I think at this point, most people have chosen their thing. Some of them have chosen 3 different things and already switched 3 different times, sold everything, set up 2, got rid of 1. Like, so I want you to know that probably any of those planners you chose would work. Any of those planners you had bought would probably work. You would find a way if you really wanted to, because those people that are consistent find a way. Be it post-it notes, putting in an extra book, taping pages in, whatever the case may be. Now, there are exceptions of, my life is too busy for that. Right now, my life is too busy for bookbound, and I just don't want to freaking rewrite it anymore. I just don't. I'm past that point in my life where I think it, you know, setting up B6s and B6 weeks or whatever got to be tedious. I don't want to do that anymore. Now I know that if I put in a list in here, you know, or I track something like this adulting list here, I don't have to rewrite it every 3 months. I've kept this all year, except for changing sizes. But, you know, besides that, if I'd have stayed in personal when I started, I would have kept it all year. And I'm going to next year. Hear me out. This is now me talking to future Beverly. If you wanted to, you would. Your system probably works. You're just looking for a dopamine hit. Stop it. Okay. That's my message to me. But, you know, I was just past that point in my life. Well, not everybody's past that. You find the creativity in it or whatever that is. And rings wouldn't be creative enough for you because you like to draw or sketch. You could do that in here. You honestly could. But some people like that book-bound feeling or whatever. Point is, if you wanted to, you would. Honestly, whatever you're using now probably works. So just stay there. Don't use this as an excuse. 4, endless possibility is not always a positive. Having the world at your fingertips is not always a good thing. Okay? There will be many versions of any planner you start. This year you're jumping into a Weeks, a Hobonichi, a B6, a Stalogy, a Sterling Ink, just Scribbles, you know, all these things. There's so much out there. Whatever you jump into, there will be many versions. So if you're changing this year, don't go in expecting perfection. Go in with, hey, I'm going to find out what works in this book, okay? And then, of course, it takes some adjustment, be it no matter what. Book, bound, TN, rings, you know, whatever the case may be, okay? So be gentle with yourself. If I can say anything else, be gentle with yourself going into 2025. We do not need perfection up in here. We ain't trying to shoot for the moon. There's too much other places in our lives that we're considered to have perfection. Let this not be one of them, because it kind of steals the joy. And, yeah, just go into it with open eyes. All right. I know it's one of those controversial things. And would I change it? Would I go back? No, because I really do love this system. But if I hadn't changed, I don't think changing systems changed my life. I think it changed with my season, and that's fine. but I was doing just fine. So I can't say I needed it. I just wanted it. And that's the lie we all tell ourselves, right? All right. So I hope y'all have a great day. I wouldn't change anything. I love this system. And I hope you can say that next year. Well, until next time, y'all. Bye.